Well, it finally happened, guys. I'm finally going to talk about a controversial issue. And of course, this controversial issue is going to be talking about personal opinions, divided people, and finally, the future. Yep, that's right, guys. We're going to be talking about Ninjago Season 8, Sons of Garmadon. Ever since we got that San Diego Comic-Con teaser trailer, this series was predicted to be the worst of all the Ninjago seasons. Well, it's time to see if it really is. Uh, just to make it easy, it's actually not, and here's why. Wait, hold up. I gotta confess something before we continue. Yes, I was one of the people who thought that Season 8 was gonna be terrible based off the teaser trailer, alright? I was biased, alright. We got that off our chest. Now we know. It's also an important thing in the rest of the video, so... Okay, roll the theme song. Hey, welcome back, guys, to Playback Commentary. I don't know how long this series is going to stick around. I really am just doing this to put content out in between the Ninjago seasons for you guys to enjoy, and I think you guys will enjoy what I have to say on Playback Commentary. So if you're new to the series, what we do here on Playback Commentary is I play something back, and then I talk about it. So it's pretty simple. This is sort of like a podcast, but more structured and more edited. So, yeah, it's really just where I commentate on predominantly right now Ninjago. I do hope to expand this later on, but right now we're going to focus on Ninjago. And the topic for this episode is going to be LEGO Ninjago Season 8, Sons of Garmadon. And we're going to be talking about this today. I'm going to give you guys my thoughts and what I thought of the season, what I did not like, what I liked, and what needs to improve upon, and as well as sort of where I would like for Ninjago to go with Season 9. Let me real quick define what bad means in this case. Bad here just means I just think it was useless, or I just did not enjoy it, or it didn't add anything to the story really. Or I just didn't think it was executed to the best of its abilities. So the first thing I think could have been handled much better was obviously Hutchinson's death. Now, as of right now, we have not actually seen the body of Hutchins, so he could technically still be alive, or he could just be dead. As of right now, he is not active in the Ninjago timeline. So, personally, I didn't connect with Hutchins as a character. He was really only used to, use as exposition to the ninja, and just to barely really be an obstacle between Lloyd and Harumi. And Hutchins's effect on the ninja, or just on a character, he didn't leave an impact. Sure, he trusted Lloyd before he died, and gave Lloyd the mask of deception and protected Harumi, but it just, he seemed like a waste. He just didn't have a good character to me. He just didn't live up to, one of the Ninjago side characters. We have a lot of good Ninjago side characters. We have, the Ronin, we have Skylar, and we have Dareth, and he just didn't live up to it. Maybe it's because he's, obviously dead right now, but I think they could have done Hutchins's just a little bit more, a bit more of a service, Another thing I didn't like was the plot twist, I'll call it, of Samurai X, the new Samurai X being Pixel. I didn't like it. Personally, the plot twist was not worth leaving as a cliffhanger, because we spent Season 7 with the new samurai trying to figure out who that was, and it wasn't resolved in that season, so they left it as a cliffhanger, and they brought it back here to where we find out that it's Pixel. Personally, I don't think that was worth the cliffhanger. And then they did give Pixel a character motivation because she didn't want to be stuck in Zane's head. That's why she took on the mantle of Samurai X, because she wanted a body and she wanted, to be a real person again. So that was her motivation, but afterwards she just didn't seem like a interesting character to me. Um, Other than being Zane's girlfriend, I don't think she has any character dynamics with the rest of the ninja. And I just don't think they treated her like a good character. She sort of is like Hutchins, wasn't fleshed out enough in this season. Speaking of Zane, in this season, the writers gave Zane the ability to change his outward appearance from going from titanium form to his original face. And the reason he uses this in season 8 is so he can go undercover in the Sons of Garmadon organization and earn their trust and figure out what their plan is. And although I thought it was interesting and I'm glad that it happened, I think they could have done much more with this. Obviously, Zane is a Nindroid. He is not a human, and he is right now the only artificially intelligent android in Ninjago. And I thought that they could have given him, uh, with this new ability to change his face, an eternal conflict with it. And I was thinking that maybe Zane would have a sort of midlife crisis or a search for identity. So where he's trying to figure out which side is he? Is he just a robot who has programs, or is he a human and can feel things? And that would sort of be a back and forth between his human face and his titanium face. I just thought that would give just a greater visual struggle for Zane, giving him an eternal conflict, opposed to just his physical one in season 8, where he's sometimes he fritzes out and he blows his cover. And in the season finale for season 8, he does seem to, for no reason, switch from titanium to human face before the battle starts, and I thought that was rather odd. Maybe they are going to go that direction, maybe not, but I just think it would be really interesting for Zane to sort of go through, a search for identity or a midlife crisis involving his face. So the final thing that I did not like about season 8 was just Kai. Kai as a character. I've been a fan of Kai since the beginning, obviously, because he was the first ninja we were introduced to, and I just don't like him because of this clip from episode 81.
What? Or we'll have to get all ninja up on ya!
What does that even mean?
I don't know. I was improvising. Usually Lloyd does the talking, but he isn't here. But where is Lloyd?
So you guys heard my reasoning and argument and personal opinion on what I did not like about Season 8. Now we're going to talk about the good things that I liked about Season 8, starting with Episode 81. I personally like Episode 81. I love the Lloyd and Harumi relationship. I love Harumi's backstory, but what really made me love the episode was probably the final fight between the ninja, the Sons of Garmadon, and what I'm calling the gigantic lobster monster. This thing, as you guys can see, it probably has an official name, but I'll just call it the lobster monster for now, because it's fun to say. So I really liked seeing the ninja and the Sons of Garmadon working together to fight this lobster monster. I thought it was great. I loved it when Zane and Mr. E were fighting together because they had previously had their fight against each other. and I thought it was just really cool to see the Sons of Garmadon use the mask, the Oni mask, to fight the monster, and the ninja to use their elemental powers to fight the monster. I thought it was great, and I really enjoyed it. It also could have been foreshadowing a scene in which the ninja and the Sons of Garmadon could eventually team up against Lord Garmadon or against the new villains in Season 9 that we don't know much about. But I really enjoyed episode 81. So I'm going to talk about my original bias against the San Diego Comic-Con teaser trailer that we got for Sons of Garmadon. I did not like it because we saw Mr. E versus Lloyd, and I figured Mr. E was going to be the bad guy and was going to be sort of like an overlord character, because I personally thought that, as in the overlord being a one-dimensional, just for the sake of being evil character. It was going to be, just good versus evil, and I didn't think I was going to enjoy it, but I did actually enjoy Mystery as a character and this season. I particularly liked the power chain and how it kept me interested. Uh, Throughout the season, it started with Mr. E, who I thought was going to be the main bad guy, but it turns out he's just a henchman. And then Ultraviolet, which is also a henchman, but she's a cool character. And then we get to Kilo, who I think is my favorite henchman of the Sons of Garmadon because of his personality. And then we finally get to the reveal of the Quiet One, who was the one pulling all the strings in the darkness, which is Harumi. And so I was really interested in the power chain, and that's what kept me watching the season, was the progression of power up until we get to our final power, which is Lord Garmadon. And that's really what kept me interested in the series, was the reveal of the powers and how everything falls into place with the power chains of the Sons of Garmadon. So I think that was executed very, very good in this season. So I don't know if LEGO did this intentionally or not, but the fan community, for just a small fraction of time, believed that the Quiet One was the large lobster monster. In between the Sons of Garmadon episodes airing, LEGO had released a trailer, or a teaser trailer, that said "The Quiet One" on it. It showed this large lobster monster who a lot of the fans believed was the Quiet One. It was just this large monster, and I honestly was disappointed that the Quiet One was revealed to just be a monster in charge. However, a lot of the fans were actually duped by this. Um, we had thought that the big lobster monster was going to be the Quiet One, but it turns out to be Harumi. And I really don't know if LEGO did that intentionally, but I think it was a great red herring, and it really kept me interested in the show. If LEGO had did that intentionally, I really enjoyed that red herring, and I really did enjoy that, and I think they executed that very good. And as I said before, Harumi being the Quiet One, uh, I really am glad they chose to go with the visual and not just a lot of words explain of Harumi's backstory. I'm glad we got to see Harumi as a child, and her reaction and impact of the Great Devourer attack back in season 1, and where Lord Garmadon saved the city. I'm really glad we got to see her impact and her reaction to that. And she didn't just say it. It wasn't spoken. It was predominantly shown through visuals. And I really connected with that more, opposed to if she had just said it to Lloyd. And I don't think it would have felt, the same. And I do think that Lloyd is responding to it in a similar way that I would have responded to it. Lloyd logically understands her pain, but Lloyd doesn't empathize with Harumi's pain. He just understands that she is an orphan and her parents died, and it was sort of his fault. But he does not have the emotional connection to that. And I would have felt the same way if they had not shown me her backstory and I could feel what she felt. This feels like the conflict now, um, and I feel like this could be expanded upon in season 9 of Lloyd's inability to empathize with Harumi, and Harumi taking this really personal. And I think it would be a really interesting character dynamic and relationship uh, in season 9. And I think it could also probably help Lloyd to develop into maybe being a more empathizable character, as well as Harumi trying to accept her fate and what has happened and how to move on from that. Sort of turning Lloyd, who is right now sort of an antagonist who does not empathize very well, into a protagonist which can empathize really well, and turning Harumi from this antagonist feel to a protagonist, And I think it would be really good if they went down this path. Where Ninjago could improve from here, I've listed a bunch of them. Lloyd and Harumi's relationship, Zane searching for identity, uh, Pixel as a character, making her more interesting, and giving Kai a bit more of, a purpose, and try to separate him from the stereotype of the movie, because I really think that's hurting his character. Um, I think they could give Ultraviolet and Kilo just a character arc in this season 9, just to sort of round them out as a character, even if it is just like a mini arc. Even if it's just them trying to accept that they are the bad guys and they're trying to become good guys, even if it's just something like that, I think it would be good as long as it's executed, good, and it's not just, pandering. Oh, we're the bad guys. It's time for us to be good. But I don't know if we should. Well, we are going to anyway. So I really hope that they do that for Kilo and Ultraviolet. I do also hope that they bring some a closure to the Mr. E and Zane plotline that they opened up in this season. Because to me, if they don't bring a closure to the Mr. E and Zane plotline, I just feel like it will just make that whole episode sort of just worthless and just anticlimactic. And I really don't want that to be anticlimactic because it left us at such a climactic point. And I really hope that it leaves an impact on Zane as well as on Mr. E as a character. Whether it be the reveal of who Mr. E is, or something about Zane's past, or something to do with their makers. I just really hope that they can bring a good closure to that, because a lot of Ninjago fans, myself including, really enjoyed that episode and want to see an end to it. We really want a satisfying ending. Um, and I really hope that the ending is satisfiable. Because like I said, it would be anticlimactic and just worthless if it's not satisfiable or executed right. And I talk a lot about execution and the satisfactory factor, because I do not want Ninjago to end up like my other favorite cartoon show, Samurai Jack. We got an ending, but it wasn't as satisfactory as the fans had hoped. I personally think Samurai Jack would have benefited much better if they had done what Season 8 did and leave it as a cliffhanger. So it once again built up hype for a epic climax, and they could also go and flesh out other characters and just build up a bigger end between the characters with another season and not have to cram everything in. And Ninjago has done this. They are doing another cliffhanger season with season 8, and I really feel passionate that they do something really great with season 9, that they really blow us out of the water, and they give us the satisfactory of this season to either conclude or continue with season 8. I personally hope they conclude it, conclude the events of season 8 in this season. And I really hope it's satisfactory and it's, they execute well and it's enjoyable and all of that. And it's things like this, to me, that make me love Ninjago. It's not just a cartoon. They're making a long epic, in a way, of, all these seasons. And I really want it to do well. I want it to be satisfactory, and I want it to become timeless. And I really just think it's just so great. It's more than just a cartoon. And it's stuff like this that proves that it's not just a cartoon for kids. It can be enjoyed by adults and fans of all ages. And I just really hope that they are able to bring a good, satisfactory ending, or at least just, an ending for them to then branch off of and do more of. But I do want them to make season 9 sort of like Avengers Infinity War, where it's the end, it's the third movie in the Avengers line, and it would be, for Ninjago, the last season to sort of tie everything up between 8 and 9. And then at that point, if Ninjago gets cleared or picked up for a season 10, that it could start, a little bit fresh, and it could be its own thing. Season 10 could be its own thing. Or if they want to deal with some of the repercussions of season 9, then they could do that, and season 8, just to deal with the repercussions. But there is so much with this, and I hope they just deal with it right. I would say that Ninjago is my Star Wars. Everyone seems to be really passionate or really upset or really happy with Star Wars right now, with The Last Jedi. The audiences are split. They don't know they don't recognize Star Wars anymore. They're scared of the change, and they're afraid of Star Wars as, just they're afraid that what they love will be gone, or it won't, be satisfactory and it'll fail. And I don't want Ninjago to be like that. And I don't think Star Wars is going to fail, but personally, I don't want either to fail. I don't want Ninjago to fail and be unsatisfactory, or Star Wars, even though I'm not that large of a Star Wars fan. But Ninjago and Star Wars are sharing similarities. And it also shares similarities with Samurai Jack. And this is why I really want Ninjago to succeed where a cartoon like Samurai Jack fell short, with cramming too much into a season, and the ending not being satisfactory. And that's what I want them to do with season 9. Take their time, flesh everything out, give the characters good dynamics, relationships, and stuff like that to make it really good, really epic, and really satisfactory. I really want season 9 to hit home. I want it to be climactic, I want it to be epic, and I want it to be an end for Ninjago, a satisfactory end. So that's really it. Yeah, guys, this is just my thoughts on season 8 and where I hope season 9 will go, and my personal opinions. And I just really, really love Ninjago, and I really wanted to get a satisfactory ending. I think this will do it for this episode of Playback Commentary. Please check back on the channel, and please give a like and a comment, and share this video with your friends if you want more episodes of Playback Commentary, and I'll keep making Playback Commentary episodes for you guys. Thanks a lot, I really appreciate it, and see you guys later. Goodbye.